Growing up with a sibling, I played a lot of split screen games. Lego Star Wars. I just played a lot of Lego Star Wars. Back then, when we would go back to look for games at GameStop, we would make sure that it always said 1 to 2 players and couch co-op. It felt like back then, developers actually thought about that type of stuff because, people like me would play it. People would like to go home, play games with friends, their brothers, their parents, and a lot of games actually had split screen support as well. Obviously now, a lot of games are made as a cash cow, kind of just made to make money off people. But it felt like games back then, obviously, were just made to have fun. Older games encourage people to actually get their friends and play with them to make sure they can finish the puzzles together. There are a lot of games, specifically story games too, that actually had puzzles that were made for 2 people. Games like Lego Star Wars or Epic Mickey 2 or Little Big Planet all had these multiplayer features that made the game way more fun. If you never sat down on a couch with somebody and played a multiplayer game that's local, then you're missing out. It's so fun playing a story game and actually having multiple people interact with the story. I wish we had more games like Skylanders. Skylanders was one of those games that had multiplayer support, it encouraged people to play together, and it was physically engaging. Lego Star Wars was literally built around 2 people. If you never played Lego Star Wars growing up, I'm just genuinely confused, but the game actually starts off with multiple players on the screen. If you're playing by yourself, you can swap between the 2 characters to solve puzzles, but normally you're supposed to play with 2 people. There are multiple puzzles in the game that have 2 levers, 2 buttons, basically puzzles where you need multiple people to solve. The game encourages people to work together and communicate on screen so they can solve the puzzle and get to the next level. And it made exploring super fun. Epic Mickey 2 was another great example where you kind of have to play the game with 2 people. It's literally called the power of 2. If you play it by yourself, what are you doing? But I just remember there's so many puzzles in this game where you need 2 people or you need to explore together, and it honestly just makes the game more fun. Having that chemistry of having both people on screen at the same time and you're both helping out is just it's one of the best memories I've had growing up. Doing quests together, fighting bosses together, solving random puzzles, it's all fun with 2 people. Even side-scrollers like Rayman, Castle Crashers, or even Mario, I miss all of those. I know this is just a nostalgic rant because there were obviously flaws with having both players on screen. I'm sure everyone who's played a split-screen game has had their fair share of screen peeking. That sucked, especially games like Battlefront, oh my god. Or when you're playing a game like Mario and one of the players goes too far to the right and then the other one on the far left just dies, that's the funniest thing ever. Or when 2 people don't agree on a puzzle and you guys have to just fight over the screen. Especially games like Lego Star Wars where if one character walks too far from the screen, it'll just either drag the other player or just completely disregard them. It was the funniest thing ever. There were flaws to this. I'm sure it had to be hard to design. And instead of making a puzzle for 1 person, you had to make it for 2 people. And I'm sure that was hard too. Another funny thing about having 2 people on screen is just the way it works. Some games would make sense by having a split screen. Some would try to fit some on the same screen. There was a lot of stuff going on. I remember games like Minecraft had the 4 split screen, and honestly that was pretty fun, but your screen was the size of a MacBook, maybe an iPhone, and I'm not gonna lie, Minecraft co-op was very, very weird. But hey, it managed to work and it worked well. Games like Wii Sports, why can't we get games like that anymore? I know that Nintendo revamped Wii Sports, but I'm gonna talk about that later. But party games like that just aren't the same anymore. I've played the new Mario Party and it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks. Mario Party 9 was the GOAT. That game had boss fights, crazy puzzles, the map changed and everything. That was fun. But the new Mario Party, don't play it. It was the worst waste of money I've ever had. And it shows because the developers, they just really don't care about the players. It used to be genuinely fun going on Wii Sports and playing with everybody and just enjoying the time. I'm telling you right now, 90% of you probably didn't know this, but the new Wii Sports has cosmetics that you can... I remember Fortnite tried to do a split screen thing and I'm not even gonna say it was good. You know what? It was just ass. It was hot ass. Look at this. What is this? Why do we need the characters on the side of the screen? I know who I'm playing. It was probably the worst optimized thing I've ever seen. Whoever designed that, the whole team that designed that, who greenlit this? What is this? Companies now have absolutely no regard for players who want to play together. Everything's just online now, which honestly, it makes sense. Everyone has a console now, everyone has a computer, everyone has Wi-Fi. But not all the time people want to go home and play games. People want to just sit on a couch together and play games. It's not that hard. Actually, going back to Fortnite split screen, what is this? I keep looking at it. What is going on here? I don't even know if it's still in the game because last time I played on the PlayStation, the game loaded up and it showed me some Diddy brain rot box fight. I don't even know what's going on. I'm honestly not sure if most FPS even have split screen options anymore. Obviously, there's games like Rainbow Six Siege, which like I don't expect a split screen, but I don't know if COD still has split screen anymore, because that was kind of like the biggest thing about it. Going to a friend's house and playing COD Zombies with everybody, that was fun, and we wouldn't have that without split screen. So if anyone does play COD still, please let me know if there's split screen, because if they do, that would be nice. Obviously, there's always going to be fighting games. Fighting games are kind of made to be played together, in one room, so it makes sense that they have couch co-op. Games like Mortal Kombat kind of, will always have that. Brawlhalla, Smash Bros. That's what it's made for. They're party games. But in general, the whole co-op scene just doesn't exist anymore. The last good co-op games I can think of are maybe, I don't know, maybe It Takes Two and Overcooked. I'm constantly searching for fun games to play with my brother, girlfriend, parents, anything. I could take anything at this point. The last 2024 game I can think that actually had split screen was Baldur's Gate. Yeah, that's the only game. Most video games are made to be played with multiple people, right? They're games. So why is it so hard to find multiplayer games that I can sit down and play with people in person? The reason why I didn't want to mention Nintendo too much is because they're very greedy. I am aware that Nintendo actually does have a lot of multiplayer couch games, but a lot of them are really just cash grabs. I'm tired of going on my Switch and seeing like a 15 FPS game for $60. Like, I'm not doing that. And then the controllers break and I have to buy a new controller, and then one doesn't work, and then it's like this whole thing. The Nintendo Switch itself is just horribly optimized. I want to play multiplayer games on other things besides a Switch because it sucks. Another big issue is that a lot of companies actually expect people to buy 2 copies of multiplayer games. There are some games like A Way Out, which one player had to buy the copy and the other one could play for free. That's how multiplayer co-op games should be. I shouldn't have to convince all my friends to buy one game that costs $45 just so we can play it one time. That's absurd, bro. Plus, playing games in person encourages people to go outside more and stop being nasty. And also, just playing a game with someone in person is just more memorable. It makes the game more fun. And like I was kind of saying earlier, it sucks because most games that still have split screen are horribly optimized. I can't remember the last time I sat down and played a split screen FPS, or maybe just like a story game with a friend. I really wish companies would actually put more time and money into split screen gameplay because a lot of people enjoy it. If I could have one thing this Christmas, it would be co-op gaming. I hope you enjoyed my little rant. If you can recommend any co-op games, or like you just want to say something stupid in the comments, go ahead. Let me know what you think.